Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and my daughter went to town on my NES Mini. I guess she decided to turn into a little bit of a Picasso and see if she could draw her next masterpiece on the mini console. But I'm coming to you this morning just with a thought because I saw a post on YouTube where someone had pretty much mentioned that GameStop is the best option moving forward for retro. If you're deciding to go retro video game hunting, GameStop is going to be probably your best bet in terms of being able to find retro games. And I don't know if that's genuinely the case. Now, I'm not sure if that poster was saying that GameStop is the best option to find retro games in general, or if GameStop is the best option to find retro games at a cheap price, because those are two very different things. If we're talking about finding retro video games in general, in my opinion, GameStop is definitely not the best option. Even here in New York, there are plenty of retro game stores that have a much broader selection of retro video games. They cover more consoles. They have more of the rare and obscure games. And so there's definitely options outside of GameStop. We have mom and pop game shops that do carry some pretty cool stuff. Now the question is price. In a lot of those mom and pop shops, though, you are going to be paying up for those retro games. Now, in most cases, and I gotta be a little bit more fair when it comes to the mom and pop shops out here. If we're talking like common games, like if you're looking for a copy of Kingdom Hearts on the PlayStation 2 or a copy of Lord of the Rings on the Nintendo GameCube, most mom and pop shops will have those games fairly priced. It's not like you're gonna walk in and find a copy of, Grand Theft Auto for $30. That's not how we roll out here. The cheaper games are still going to be cheaper. So if depending on what you're looking for, mom and pop shops might be the best route to go because they do have a lot of those, those games, and those their prices are pretty much on par with either eBay price charting or GameStop. But most people don't go to like retro game stores like that for like Grand Theft Auto. They're usually going there looking for something a little bit more heavy. Um, Now, if the question is, or if they're saying that GameStop is the best option for buying retro games for cheap, I think even that is a bit of a fallacy at this point. I think that that's false at this stage of the game, because I want to say that at this point in 2024, we are, pretty much approaching the middle of the fourth quarter for 2024. And at the time of me recording this, GameStop is pretty much on par with most mom and pop shops. The only exception is going to be with certain games that are 200, $300. You might find a game at GameStop that's worth $150 to $200, and GameStop might only have it priced at $100. But when it comes to pretty much any video game that's like $125 or lower, GameStop is going to have that game pretty much priced at market value. It doesn't matter the console, it doesn't matter the system. They are price matching, and they price match in real time. If their system detects that there's a game in their inventory and that game is um, worth more, they're going to increase the price. Now, another thing that I'm seeing, which is pissing me off pretty bad, when you do find a game at GameStop, especially if you find it online and you find it at a cheaper than listed market price, GameStop will not sell it to you. And it's really annoying. So it happened to me twice. It happened to me over this past summer. I found Shadow of the Ninja, I think, for the NES this summer. And I purchased it because it was about $35 under market value. And when I made the purchase, mind you, I had seen that game sitting on their website for days, and it had that add to cart, and it was all good. And as soon as I added it to my cart, it just sat there in purchased status, and it said awaiting product availability, which made no sense to me because it was there, it was in stock, and In fact, I think I saw that they had 2 in stock. But when I checked price charting and I saw that at that time Shadow of the Ninja was going up, they all of a sudden they didn't have the game in stock and they didn't want to send it to me. The same thing has recently happened with a purchase that I made. I purchased a copy of G.I. Joe for the NES. Now there's 2 versions of G.I. Joe, but there's one version that's like worth 110 bucks or so. And GameStop had it on their website for like 65 bucks or something like that. And I purchased that copy. Again, same scenario, 2 copies. And of course, when I purchased it, it's been sitting in my purchase history saying awaiting product availability. So I do think that GameStop is playing games with this whole retro thing. And if they catch themselves where they're selling you a game that is, below market price, and like if they realize they're undercutting themselves by 25, 30 bucks, they're going to just not sell it to you. At least that's how it feels when you're trying to make the purchase online. And that just, it really sucks. And to be quite honest with you, I don't really see the value in shopping at GameStop anymore for retro games. The prices used to make all of the other headaches worth it. Being able to buy retro games at a cheaper price was what allowed me to put up with the horrible customer service and the contradictory policies and the bait and switch pricing tactics and the ghost games that they post online. I like really and honestly, it was only because I was able to get games at a really good price. That's the reason why I put up with it. Also because they used to run the buy two get one and stuff like that, but they've just gotten really bad. And I even said it back then. I said price is what makes them competitive. Now that they're matching most mom and pop shops, and now that they're, you know, now that they're continuing with some of their bad practices that have turned a lot of people off, and they're combining that with weak prices, it's just not worth it to me. There's no value in it, and I don't really feel like dealing with it anymore. And to be honest with you, you'll probably notice on the channel, my GameStop pickups have slowed. I haven't posted a GameStop pickup in weeks, and it's going to be going on months because they don't have anything really worth it. Right now, they're doing a buy two get one on PlayStation 4 games, but their PlayStation 4 games are not, there's really nothing in the PlayStation 4 library right now that I don't have that I want to get from them. They have a lot of these, AAA and B grade titles that just I don't think anyone's really, searching for. And the way they have a lot of those games priced, no one's really gunning for them. We're well into the PlayStation 5 generation, and they still have games like Attack on Titan for $40. They still got games like Gravity Rush for $60. They still got, it's just not really making sense. And I just don't see the value in shopping there anymore. So to answer the question, is GameStop the best option, or the final option for retro collectors? I say no. I definitely say no. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to breeze through a GameStop to see if I can snag a deal or to see if I can catch them slipping. But I treat GameStop the same way I treat Goodwill now. I usually go into Goodwill just to see if I can catch a deal or catch them slipping on pricing. I do the same thing at GameStop. If I don't find something that's, worth it, I'm pretty much just walking out the door. And I'm not even really going to mess with it unless they have a game that I don't typically see in the wild at all. And yeah, maybe it's a game that I could get online for the same price, but I'm saving on shipping. Maybe I might buy a game like that at GameStop. But outside of that, there's really no value in shopping there to me at this point. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you feel like there's still value in shopping at GameStop, especially for retro, or have you moved on from the GameStop retro hype? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.